Bruce, stay. Let's go. Okay, this is the Cabana off-leash dog exercise area on the Gold Coast. This is sort of a bit away from all the beaches. It's sort of, I guess, inland a bit on the canals. I'd actually never heard of this place, but we were just looking for somewhere else to go, so here we are. It's in what looks like a very expensive part of the Gold Coast. Lots of mansions. The actual entrance to the park is just, if you weren't following a GPS, you'd probably miss it because it's just got a gate almost like it's going into a house. So it's sorry, the wind's just starting to pick up, which is probably going to affect the sound a bit. Yeah, it's just a gate at the end of a sort of cul-de-sac. I think this place is open from 5 in the morning to 7 at night. As you can see, it is a very large park. There's people down the far end playing with their dogs. There's people just walking. Bruce. Some with dogs, some without. Dimmy's going a little bit mad, as he tends to do when he gets let off the leash. We've actually already taken him swimming this morning, but being a 1.5-year-old dog, his energy is boundless. So, as we can see, his recall is actually relatively good. He tends to sort of stick with us, but he will run and play with other dogs. When he was sort of taught him, we'd hold our arms out straight and he'll generally come back to us. As you can see, when he's halfway back, if we actually start running, he sort of almost sounds like he's hunting as he starts growling as he runs, but he always just does a bit of a quick turn and a loop around us once he gets back. Might walk down the other end, there's water down there as well. Bruce. Okay, Dimmy's made some new friends. As you can see, Dimmy likes to be chased. He will wrestle if he has to, but mainly he just wants to be chased. So just need to make sure I hold Bruce, because if they come closer, he actually gets really elevated by dogs running near him, and he'll often sort of almost shape to nip them as they run past. So we just got to make sure that he's under control if they decide to do that. So as you can see, Dimmy will tend to run back towards us. Calm down, Bruce, calm down, calm down, calm down, be gentle. Okay. Bruce, Bruce, calm down. Good boy. Okay, I don't know if I actually caught that on camera, but I've probably said this before. Bruce has a tendency, because he's got a few issues with other dogs, so he will always. I don't think we've maybe met 1 or 2 dogs he didn't try to mount, but basically he tries to mount every dog he meets, which is not in and of itself necessarily a bad thing. Dogs do that. When we were staying in Armidale, I think I said the female dog there, Shimmer, was always trying to mount Dimmy. It's kind of a dominance thing. It can be a play thing. The main thing, though, when you're in dog parks or anywhere, is that other dogs don't necessarily like it, regardless of the reason for it. So if he does it to a dog that's got dominance issues itself, it'll usually not like it very much and may turn on him, which has happened more than once. the main... Okay, Dimmy's got a pug chasing him. The main thing, if you do have a dog that does that, is you really... Bruce, come. You really got to know your dog well. So we know, like I know Bruce's moves, so I can tell as soon as he's lining up another dog to try and mount it. So I have to immediately take him away, or that's exactly what he will do. So his head and his tail go up in the air. He stands up as tall as he can and just starts moving around towards the rear of the dog. So basically, as soon as his head goes up, I take him away. There's been a couple of dogs that he hasn't tried to do it to. Our friend Kelly's dog Fenn, I don't think he might have tried to do it with him, but size can be an issue. There was a dog, Bruce, come. Dog beach we used to go to had those Irish wolfhounds. Someone had like 3 of them, which are obviously the size of small horses. He never tried with them. He has had dogs do it to him as well. My brother's dog, which is a little Jack Russell called TJ, will mount Bruce whenever it gets the opportunity. Bruce actually takes it quite well, all things considered. Bruce, what are you doing? Let's go. Bruce, let's go. So if Bruce is like lying on the ground, TJ is Bruce basically ignores it. But we can tell that he does sort of he doesn't really try and play with TJ, so I think TJ is the dominant dog amongst the family dogs. Which sort of, to an extent, shows that it's always about personality, not about sort of the breed or strength or anything like that. So TJ was about 2 kilos, I think, when my brother and sister-in-law got him. He's bigger than that now, obviously, but he's he doesn't sort of strike you as being dominant at all, but with Bruce he is the dominant dog. Bruce, leave it. It's actually really nice here. If you ever come to the Gold Coast, this is where you should bring your dogs. We're actually talking, there is another dog park that we went to last time. We're here with our friends Rob and Anna. Bruce, let's go. But I can't remember where that was. We might try and get there today. We're actually on our last day in the Gold Coast. We head to Harvey Bay, which is on the Sunshine Coast, tomorrow. Bruce is getting tired. I already took Bruce for a walk when Dimmy was swimming before, so he's running out of steam quite quick. Yeah, we go to Harvey Bay tomorrow. Probably haven't recorded as many videos on the Gold Coast as we planned to, but part of the problem is it's been a bit windy, and the weather on a couple of days hasn't been very good, so we haven't actually made it to beaches to sort of record anything. A couple of times we sort of planned to, and then we didn't really do it. But yeah, tomorrow we go to Harvey Bay, which is about 4.5 hours from here, I think. I don't think Shelley's been to the Sunshine Coast. I've been there once or twice, I think, when I was a teenager. Bruce. But only to Noosa on family holidays, I think. So that should be interesting. I've noticed on these videos when I watch them back, I say a lot. It's one of those things, until you actually record yourself, you don't really know what you sound like. And apparently I say all the time, which really stands out when I listen to myself. So I shall try to avoid that. So instead of me saying there'll probably just be some awkward pauses in the video when I can't think of what I'm going to say next. Probably won't talk about MS too much in this. That's sort of that, talking about not sort of remembering what I was going to say next. It's one of the symptoms I have is my short-term memory now is quite dodgy. There I go, saying again. So I can often And I know it happens to everybody, but it happens to me a lot more now than it used to. It's just like, you know, I get up from the couch, go into the kitchen, and then stand there for 10 seconds going, why am I here? And usually once I go back to where I was before, obviously the same trigger that got me to stand up the first time happens again, and I remember what I was doing. Okay. Bruce has got really bad diarrhea at the moment. We think he's drunk too much salt water. So he's just doing a poo, but I can't even pick it up. It's just wet. So he's struggling a bit. We sort of, Bruce, come. We've been talking. We need to, well, I think I need to do a better job of taking care of Bruce. He's got a sort of older dog. He's had problems with his stomach before. He's got problems with his back legs. We just really need to, because he won't take care of himself. Bruce, come. Let's go. Yeah. No, Bruce. So yeah, he won't take care of himself because he doesn't know, obviously. So we have to be careful for him. Bruce, let's go. So we just need to take better care with stuff like that, because he swallows a lot of salt water, I think, when he goes in the sea. And also when we play with the ball, as I've said before, he just ends up hurting himself. But we sort of, you sort of drop your guard when he's having fun. But then once you get home that day, you realise you can't walk properly and he's got diarrhea, and it's just like, well, it gets to the point where you go, well, is the fun actually worth it? And I think the answer to that now is probably no. So we just need to be a bit more careful with him. I think it's sort of leading to him being he's being a bit sort of grumpier with other dogs lately. And that might be related to that as well, because he's in pain. So he's barking a lot at other dogs, like that are 100 metres away, walking down the street from where we're staying. So anyway, so yeah, short-term memory problems, which is a bit of a pain. I'll often have to set up an alarm on my phone or something if there's something that I need to do to try and trigger my memory. Sorry, it's getting really windy here again, so I apologise if this sounds really bad. And that is common with MS. So what happens, you get lesions in your brain, and it's because it's an autoimmune disease. It's basically your body attacks itself. So it attacks the lining around nerves in your brain. Bruce, stay. And that's what creates the lesions in your brain, and that's usually how people are diagnosed, because the lesions are random. They can be anywhere, they can be new, it can be in the same place as you've had before. That's usually how people get diagnosed, is because it attacks something that's really noticeable. Like me, when it attacked my eyesight, it gave me double vision, whereas I'd probably already had attacks before but never noticed. So it's often they give you steroids to stop the attacks, and then you need to go on treatment to prevent further attacks. But yes, those attacks can, they can be both in your brain and your spine, and they can attack anything really. Eyesight, hearing. I've got a bit of hearing loss in my left ear that comes and goes a bit. As I've said before, weakness, my left arm, left leg. Memory is affected. Probably some other things I can't think of now. So, yes, so memory is one of the really noticeable things. I mean, as a symptom, fatigue is the biggest deal. Can just be exhausted for no reason sometimes. Sometimes, especially after my treatment, I can wake up after 8 hours sleep and just feel absolutely exhausted, as though I've basically went out drinking the night before, and as you do when you're 19, go straight to work the next day without sleeping. That's how I feel. Okay, probably stop this now. As I said, this is a really nice place to come. It's really huge. There's no fences or anything. Well, there is around the houses, but yeah, with well-behaved dogs, it's a really good place to come. We may record another video on the Gold Coast before we leave. anyway.